What's up, everybody? Mike here, and I've got massive, huge new details on The Witcher 4. We had the debut cinematic trailer of The Witcher 4, which showed Ciri as the new main protagonist, which makes a natural sense, in my opinion. Even though I've not beaten all the Witcher games, I know some of the lore, I know some of the things about Witcher 3, how it ends. So this, honestly, is the best route to go, in my opinion. I know there's multiple endings on Witcher 3, so I'm wondering how they're going to tackle this, basically, from that standpoint. But a lot of details, guys, to go into. Strap yourselves in for this one. This might be a little bit longer video than it needs to be, but I want to talk about this and update you guys. So, IGN has done interviews and been covering this with CD Projekt Red, and I want to talk about CD Projekt Red's plans for its next big RPG in Witcher 4, why they chose Ciri, Geralt's involvement, because we definitely heard Geralt's voice in that cinematic trailer. And Doug Cockle had a recent issue with accidentally letting something slip about Geralt being in the game, but not as a main character, and then he got slapped in the face by CD Projekt Red about it. So I don't know. Let's see what's going on with this. So the devs here talk about, since I can remember, we've been talking about Ciri and how much she deserves her own journey, says Sebastian Humba, game director of Witcher 4. This likely won't come as a surprise to many fans. CD Projekt Red's beloved RPG series, ever since the Polish developer announced Polaris, the Witcher 4's codename. And pretty much people have theorized ever since. Like, I've been theorizing myself too. Like, who could it go with? I personally was thinking Ciri, because if Geralt's not going to be the main protagonist, it only makes sense Ciri would be. Or let us create our own customizable Witcher, possibly. But they didn't let us do that. It's still awesome they're going with Ciri, though, the adopted daughter of Geralt. And she is technically the secondary protagonist of both the original novels and The Witcher 3. The devs go on to say that they think The Witcher as a title refers to both Geralt and Ciri, and always has. And that Ciri is arguably more important to the plot than Geralt himself is. Last we saw Ciri, she was a young woman facing her destiny. But now, as depicted in a new cinematic trailer shown at the Game Awards right recently, Ciri is a fully fledged Witcher hunting monsters for profit. Following the events of The Witcher 3, Ciri has undertaken the famously painful trial of the Graces, which has mutated her into a powerful and resilient warrior. She's ready to take on a whole new journey in The Witcher 4, which is the first part of a planned new trilogy of single-player open-world RPGs. That's fantastic. You might be wondering, like, well, what's going to differentiate, Ciri from Geralt in some way or some ways, It's the passion that will differentiate Ciri from Geralt, and subsequently The Witcher 4 from its predecessors. The devs say they want to let players try to define her, unlike Geralt, who has been a veteran monster hunter for the entire Witcher saga. Ciri's only just starting her career. That means there's space for players to create their own version of her. She's about to form her own codex on her own terms. The way she actually deals with the monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, it's her own unique way. And as we know with these RPGs of The Witcher, the shape of Ciri and her codex will be dictated by decisions both big and small. I mean, we saw an example of such during the trailer, right? In which Ciri interrupts a dark ritual, resulting in the death of a girl she's attempting to save. And this is definitely a classic example of Studio's signature approach to choice and unforeseen consequences, right? The devs talk about we want to put player agency at the center. Achieving such has required an expansion and evolution of The Witcher's definition of player choice. They're going to give us more tools as players at our disposal, guys, to be able to not only play and go with the consequences narratively, but also gameplay-wise. They want to give us players more opportunities to be able to feel that they define our experience in the game, which is awesome. And they're also taking lessons learned from Cyberpunk 2077 as far as how that was handled and the expansion. So they want to make sure they take their time with this. I think even an interview, the dev was talking about, hey, first off, let us cook. So guys, just let them cook. Let them get it right. I'd rather they not rush this out. They need to get this right. They need to win. They need to further redeem themselves a bit to the game community with Witcher 4 because of what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. And I know some of y'all are thinking about, well, what about that ending where Ciri dies? There's like multiple endings, right? And the devs even address this. So devs say one complication is probably the idea that there's an ending when Ciri can die in The Witcher 3. Thankfully, that ending, which is one of 3 different fates for Ciri and the outcome of several hidden choices made throughout the game, isn't quite as clear cut as it may seem. There are hints in that ending that highlight the fact that she probably does not die. And so regardless of the events you personally witnessed at the end of your own Witcher 3 playthrough, the sequel will not break any canon or even offend any canon. So that's good to know. Of course, there will be plenty of players coming to Witcher 4 who have no knowledge of the events of the previous games, to whom the details of the series of former adventures will mean little. So CD Projekt Red is very aware of this, and that's been a decade since release of Wild Hunt, right? And a whole generation of fantasy fans who were too young for a mature rated RPG back in 2015 will likely start their Witcher journey with the fourth game when it finally launches. The devs talk about they want to aim for the new players, the wider audience, and also people that know the franchise but who maybe do not play our games. As such, Witcher 4 is being pitched as the start of something new, as such as it is the continuation of something old. So here's my concerns about that, right? You got a lot of these developers now that are trying to like get in new players, get in the new casual audience by doing like certain things that are like, I guess they consider trends they're trying to follow. And I just hope CD Projekt Red does not fall into this trap in a sense. I get you want to get new players and that's fine, but I think you should still stick to your core elements of what made you successful. Don't try to, follow a trend in some way like other game developers have done. Please stick to your guns to an extent. Obviously, evolve the combat, evolve the storytelling and gameplay and choices, all that narrative. Just make it better and make it true to what it is. Because man, let's just be real. You saw what happened with Velgard, right? Anyway, so in this article, he goes on to say, as part of that, as far as continuation and trying to get new players in, basically, the devs are ensuring that Witcher 4 is an approachable experience. They want everyone who cares to play, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of the studio's trademark RPG depth being watered down in payment for that approachability. Good. We create story-driven games, so we want to make sure that people that buy games for story, they'll be able to experience the story in their own way, and they will be simply able to approach it. But people that are looking for more specific challenges, they will also be able to experience the story in a challenging way. Studio faces a much larger challenge than just crafting a sequel that's approachable for newcomers. Though, while Cyberpunk 2077 is now regarded as a landmark RPG, its launch was one of the highest profile disasters in history. Yeah. It took them years to fix those games' problems and sort of redeem themselves, So the devs talk about how the way produced right now has changed in a very good way. That's coming from Sebastian Columba. And we are very mindful defining the stages of the production. We are very mindfully trying to scope it, making sure that the foundations is there. I already see that it's helping us to make sure that whatever we create right now is super coherent across the board. This way makes us feel that we control this super complex environment more than we used to. And that also makes everyone feel more secure when it comes to developing generally on a daily basis. And then as of right now, they have not revealed a launch date yet for Witcher 4, which is fine. Let them cook, let them take their time. I mean, the cinematic trailer was definitely hype. It was cool as shit, but definitely want to see gameplay at some point when they're ready. Maybe Summer Games Fest at the earliest we might get a gameplay trailer. Maybe. I'd rather them take their time, get things together. I don't know, but they just went into full production mode like literally this month, if not last month, but we'll see. I'm still shocked they even brought out a trailer. And towards the end of this article or interview, devs talk about how after a decade of waiting, nothing but a full experience would do for the old fans, right? And that's what we have. The 6-minute trailer tells not just a complex short story, but also contains all the hallmarks of a classic Witcher quest: a contract, a kill, and a consequence. For veterans of Geralt's adventures, it's a good reminder of why it's worth coming back for a fourth installment. As for new fans, it's about as good a taste of the Witcher's magic as you can get in advertisement form. No doubt the Witcher subreddit is about to be inundated with 1,000 "how do I get into this" posts, right, questions, etc. Yeah. And as for what's next, CD Projekt Red won't say yet. Full production, as mentioned, is only just started, so it could be another long wait. Like I said, we might not get anything till Summer Games Fest at the earliest, if not later, as far as gameplay or another trailer of some kind or any major update. When it comes to choosing Ciri over Geralt for Witcher 4 as the main protagonist, well, to the devs, it seemed like a very organic, logical choice. And there's a quote here saying that it was always about her, starting from Saga. When you read it in the books, she's an amazing layered character. And, of course, as protagonist, we said goodbye to Geralt previously, so this is a continuation. I guess for all of us, it's like she was meant to be. That was always her. Some added details from the trailer and things you might notice here as well. People hate Witchers. I mean, technically, this has always been a thing in this series and lore. Nothing new. Obviously, Ciri is a brand new protagonist. We got the village ritual. The devs are planning to let players be able to explore new lands and new regions in the world. Ciri is not Geralt. She's her own character. She's different, so she's going to handle things differently, react to things differently. Because think about it, Geralt was usually famously known for remaining neutral as much as possible, right? When it came to larger conflicts at play, whereas Ciri doesn't want to stay neutral. She's younger. She's now full-fledged Witcher. She's still a younger Witcher, so she's still defining her own path, her own code in a sense, and she's less pragmatic. And then, of course, there's monsters like the Bach that was shown on the trailer, right? A Witcher is nothing without a bounty to hunt. The monster shown off in the trailer is called Bach and has the ability to smell your fear and be able to play with your traumas to paralyze you. So you basically become easy prey, an easy meal. The devs say that Witcher 4 is an evolution of everything they've created so far, and it makes sense that it is. I hope it is. They learned from Cyberpunk 2077, the expansion, Witcher 3, and the previous games. The Silver Sword, of course, is shown off in the trailer. That is the defining weapon for defeating creatures. Then there's the potion that she drinks. So alone will not always be enough to defeat, example like the Bach, right? So we see Ciri make use of another important Witcher item before she makes her first strike. Drinking the poison. Sebastian says, Witcher potions are poison. This is how it works in this world. A regular human being would definitely die. But Ciri, as a mutant, is able to not only survive, but build an advantage because of this potion. She's deadly focused, has tunnel vision, and here's some more voices. Because the potion helps her block out the box whispers. She's even able to see better in the fog. And she's able to finally recognize the silhouette of the monster and go full force when attack. Then we can't forget magic, guys. So there are many differences between Geralt and Ciri, but when it comes to combat, the key thing that separates the two Witchers is magic. While Geralt is able to cast some very basic spells on his science, Ciri is able to command the power of sorcery. We saw a little of her power in the action during the segments of The Witcher 3, in which we play as Ciri, as she was able to teleport around enemies to avoid damage. But this trailer showcases even greater aptitude for magic than we've seen from Ciri before. Ciri is not only mutated, she's a source, a powerful source, so she's a special being. Sebastian says, the mutated source means that's kind of connecting two worlds, the Witcher world and the sorcery world. You got the Witcher 1 homage. So the trailer features a fun callback for longtime veterans of the series. The last moments of the fight echo the original Witcher game's opening cinematic, in which Geralt does battle with the Striga and takes it down with a silver chain. Ciri uses a very similar technique here to take down the Bach, but does so in a supercharged way. That's all her own. The phrase, there are no gods here, only monsters, is very curious thing for her to say, enticing. So the devs said they wanted to kind of leave room for interpretation. You don't know what she is about to do, but the way she delivers it, you know that there are no gods here in the forest. There was only a monster, and it is that simple. But these people, they're driven by superstitions, so they don't believe her. She can show them a chopped head trophy, and they will still follow the bloody old paths. But it's also symbolic when it comes to the overall profession of a Witcher. The choice and the consequence, guys. So we saw in the trailer too, what she tried to do to save the girl, ended up leading her to her death anyway. And we don't know what happened, you know, between that time where Ciri kills the monster and she's walking back to the people. But it's definitely not just a hero story. Even though she wants to be, the world doesn't like that. So lessons here are hard. But then again, as a player, you can always make a choice. This game's not black and white, guys, when it comes to decisions and things you gotta do. And you won't know the consequences or how it will affect the world until you basically go with it and make that decision. So that's what I got so far on this, guys. Why they chose Ciri, their plans, and a little bit of breakdown of the trailer. I'm excited for this. I am looking forward to this, even though I have not been super into The Witcher as far as actually playing all the 3 games and beating them, but it's freaking great. And yes, as Doug Cockle's voice, he is coming back as Geralt, but just not the main protagonist. He'll be in the game, I guess, as a side character, support character in some way. So yeah, looking forward to it. What do you guys think about this? Are you hyped for this? Are you new to Witcher series? This is going to be your first Witcher game when it comes out, or are you going to try maybe play the previous games before it comes out? Since we got quite a while, I imagine, maybe not till 2026, if at best, as it's definitely not coming out 2025. We'll be lucky if it's 2026 or even maybe 2027. We'll see. But let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe if you're new. My name's Mike. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.